Pashas Toldos, Tafshin Pehei. I'm going to speak about a very narrow subject in the Parsha that the depth has no bottom, no bottom. And it's something fairly simple that Al Pipshat, everybody is going to fly over. And the level of learning and the level of depth there is here is really mind-boggling. So let's go start right away with the psukim. Is Vayigdelu hane'arim. The kids grew up. He refers to Midrash Tanchumen, Kiseitze Rashi. Anyway, I'm going to try to remain very focused because there's a lot and I don't want to cross the levels. Vayigdelu hane'arim. Midrash, they were bar mitzvah. They turned bar mitzvah. They were 13 years old. So they're nar. That's what it's called at that age. Vayhi Eisav, and Eisav was Ish. No, he was not Ish. He was nar. If he's Ish, he's over 20. If it's nar, it's below. So which one was he? Yosef HaTzadik was a nar at 17. What it means, Ish Yoidei Atzayid. Ish Yoidea Hunu Tzayid. I don't know how to translate that word. This is a noun. This is not a verb. A hunter hunts. Tzad. Latzud. Yoidea Latzud. He knew how to hunt. Tzayid is a catch. Is, the prey that he caught. Ish, Yoidea, he knew. Tzayid, the noun? No. Has to be a verb here. And the whole Parsha is going to use exactly that same language. And very interesting what it means here. Ish, again, in case you forgot, he's not a na anymore, he's an ish. Sade of the field. Which field? Chakal tapuchin kadishin? Sade is usually referred to the Shechina. That's what we call it. Chakal in Aramaic means Sade. Tapuchin kadishin, the holy apples. So this is how the Shechina is called. How can Eisav be the man of the Shechina? We saw Avraham Avinu was the father of the Shechina. He was mechanech. He educated the Shechina. Sarah Imenu was. Moshe Rabbeinu was a man of the Shechina. Yaakov married the Shechina. She was Rachel. Eisav? The Yaakov, and Yaakov was Ishtam, complete. Yoshev Oyhalim. He was sitting in tents. You can say in a tent here, ish day outside. Everything is singular. The tent is singular here. What is Yoshev Oyhalim? Rashi says that he was sitting. He was going to Shem and Aver. And he was different Oyhalim, so that's why he says he was going to the yeshivas of Shem and Aver. Rashi, who told you they had two different yeshivas? Maybe they had one yeshiva and there were two Rashi yeshivas in there. Rashi doesn't answer here. He only raises questions. Why is Oyhalim in plural? What are we talking about here? Then the most surprising thing is happening that so much ink was written about explaining this pasuk. Vayehav Yitzchak es Eisav. Yeah, Yitzchak was not on the Akedah. Yitzchak it was Oila Temima, could not leave Eretz Yisrael because the Shekhinah could not leave him. No, he didn't know that Eisav was a Rasha. Everybody knew. Even when Rivka was buried, Midrash Tarchumer brings down that she told the people before she passed away, don't take me out during the day because people may curse at me, say, this is the mother that fed the Rasha of Eisav. Yitzchak was very happy to stay in his tent because he was also not, and this is how he lost sight, because of Eisav. You telling me that he didn't know of Eisav? The whole world knew about it? Let me rephrase the question. His wife, Rivka, she passes before a Bes Midrash, and she feels the baby wants to come out. I'm quoting a Midrash right now. She passed before Avodah Zarah, the baby wants to come out. She went asking the neighbors, do you know, did you experience anything like this? They said no. Then she went to Shem and Aver, and they told her, one is a tzaddik, one will be a rasha. Do you think she didn't tell her husband? Do you think that Yitzchak thought that the tzaddik was Eisav and the rasha would be Yaakov? You would be Choshed Biksherim? The pasuk says in Mishlei, Loi ye'une la tzaddik kol oven. HaKadosh Baruch Hu protects the tzaddik. He knows he doesn't know everything. Is it possible that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't protect Yitzchak Avinu, the Oila Tumima? And he made such a mistake? But the pasuk comes and gives us a reason. Kitzayid befiv. Everybody knows the story about him coming asking his father about the straw and the salt. Honestly, you really think Yitzchak Avinu was so gullible? Oh, my son is such a tzaddik. He's coming to ask me. First of all, let me ask you, how many times did he ask that question? Yitzchak Avinu answered him. So it's not like, but it seems like he used to come over and over asking his father the same question. Nah, Yitzchak Avinu knows something is. So what is kitzayid befib? Maybe here, I'll open up because some are not going to be on Shabbos. I'll tell you a story of the Ari HaKadosh here, which is out of this world. And yeah, B'nei I'll say it. And I'll show you why he's going to there. But Rivka, oiheves es Yaakov, but he doesn't give us a reason. Yitzchak, you have a reason why he loves Eisav, but Rivka, no, doesn't. Thereafter, I'm not going to get there. So let's forget about that. I'll just put it in because I just copied and pasted. But the soidas in this, if we are Zoich on Shabbos to be able to go over that, this shows the depth of Torah that we go over a pasuk, and even after explaining this, you're going to realize that we can not take back every pasuk, and whatever we say about the whole thing together, the story, we can go on every pasuk and go even a lot deeper. It's amazing. And this is just a tiny part of the parsha. Everything in this parsha told us is not what it seems. It's impossible to translate this psukim al pipshat. Rashi that usually always explains, try to stick to the pshat. This time, he has not said. Anyway, you know the story. Yaakov is preparing after that. It was the day Avraham Avinu was niftar, and Yaakov prepared a dish of lentils. And Yaakov and Eisav come from the field. Like, we need to know where it's coming from. Does it make a difference for the story? It doesn't make any difference. And he's coming from Hasad, the one. Which one? Do we know where he goes to hunt him? No. Vehu Oyef, and he's tired. Why? Midrash the Zohar said he was over on 3 Chataim, 3 avonos that day. But even that, Vayazed. Yazed comes from the word mazid, doing something on purpose. What's the pshat? Vayazed, you should have said Vayvashal. You want to tell me Adashim? Write Adashim. Why Nazid? We playing with rhythm here. Vayazed Yaakov Nazid. Vayomer Eisav el Yaakov. Eisav says to Yaakov, Hal itenina. Feed me, like, basically, what do you call this bird? Like they make the foie gras from it. Okay, not the ducks, the other one. So he wants to sit down, open his mouth, and he wants to eat from the red. No vav. No vav. Ha-adam, the red, haze, this one. Ki ayef anoichi, because I am tired. But you already said behu ayef, so what's the point repeating it? Al ken kara shemoy, therefore they called him Edom, from Adon, but this time he has a vav. If it's related, why is this one has a vav, this one has no vav? And then Yaakov will ask him, okay, I'll feed you, but sell me your bechoira. That's very strange. There's 2 halachas here I want to mention. First, there's a pasuk, mi besarecha lo yisis alem. Pasuk in Yeshaya, from you cannot close your eyes. There's a chiyuv to help first in Hilchas in Yeridea, in Hilchas Tzedakah. First, you start with family. Then you start going out. Yaakov Avinu, why do you trade? You have a chiyuv to feed him. So with everyone else, you can feed them, but no, Eisav, I'm not going to feed him. And why do you gain by trading to the Bechira? If Eisav would come to Beis Din, Yaakov will cancel the sale. He was under duress. It was obvious. And in Choshen Mishpat, in Siman Resh Hey, Saif Aleph, really the whole Siman actually, anyone who's under duress, people force someone else. So you have the option, you can go to Eidim and say a moidah, so inform them of the duress. But once the duress is obvious, you don't need to inform them. I'm going to die. I have no more strength. I can't even eat. I can just open my mouth, put the food in my mouth. Now, whatever you're asking is going to say yes. Just don't let me die. What kind of trade is that? I wanted to push. There's another halacha in Hilchos Shabbos, in Shinam Vav, that if someone, let's say you have a medicine, you have an antibiotic, someone, your neighbor, Chaz v'Shalom, a Jew, is sick and is in need of that medicine. Now, you know he can get it, and you want to make a profit. You tell the guy, listen, you need it? Okay, 10 G's, $10,000. Look, I'm nice. I give it to you. Nobody else can have it. You cannot have it now. 10,000. The guy shakes hands, $10,000. On Sunday, the neighbor comes, say, okay, I need pay me my $10,000. The guy says, absolutely not. We're going to Beis Din. So Beis Din, the way they're gonna paskin here, they're gonna read that since he was under duress, he just told you what you wanted to hear. He never accepted the kinyan. Therefore, it's an isur, and on top of this, it's an isur to sell something more than its value when someone else needed it. So the guy, the neighbor, is not getting the $10,000. If he paid for it $50, he's getting his $50. That's it. The Bechorah Yaakov, if Eisav had any moyach, any brain, he would go to Beis Din. Beis Din would have been mevatel. So what did you gain? Michra kayoim. Sell it. I'd like to show you that one also. I'm not going to get there, but just for you to open your eyes that the pasuk is always hinting you that something is cooking. Where is that pasuk? Here it is. Michra, sell me, kayon. What it means? I don't know how to translate it. He shav ali, swear to me, kayon. Like the day? What do you mean kayon? What is this? What are these two things? You say today, so michrali as michrali as bechol rascha. Kayoim, like the day, nah, means nothing. Let's get into today's mahalach. It's already, trust me, it's not that simple, but we're still on a high level. We're going to take Rabnu Bachye in Pashas Lech Lecha, comes because we can be shooting, like spraying bullets everywhere. We don't know where to start. So we're going to take one mahalach with Eisav and understand who is that man, what he's made of, a little bit, first layer, what he's made of, and try to understand why Yaakov was antagonizing him. Maybe we're going to have time to bring a first level also answer why Yitzchak loved him. And then at that point, if someone reminds me, I'll tell you the side of the Kodesh. Very interesting. Because then it's going to sit very well in your mind. And how, once you understand that part, how the words reshuffle themselves in the pasuk and they fit so well to the new sense, everything really, the dikduk, the fact that it's not written latsud, there's no verb, it's a noun, why, and so forth. Well, let's start the mahal. Rabnu Bachye Pashas Lech Lecha makes us a parallel between what was promised to Avraham Avinu in Bris Beis Abesarim, that Bnei Israel are going to be suffering in another nation for 400 years. Says Rabnu Bachye, the reason of these 400 years, it's not known and nobody speaks about it. No, it says on this, all the Mefarshim remain quiet. So what he brings here is brought down in the Zohar, but I would like to write it down because we're going to use it so much. So we have 400. It's going to keep on coming back, and this 400 is ayin ra. Ayin hara was the midah of Eisav. Then, some, it's not the Aliyah Kodesh. Where did I see that Bilam it was also part of a Gilgul of Eisav and so forth, and he had the Ayin Hara, whatever. We have here one fundamental point is that the 400 is because of the Ayin Ra. And the Ayin Ra exterminates everything. I'm still, paraphrasing Rav Nubachye here. And now, please, this is he's throwing at us here a wrench. And Abraham Avinu, because he received the letter Hey, which is the Malchus, which is the Din, he became subjected to Ayin Hara. And his descendants will suffer from the Ayin Ra and will have to be enslaved for 400 years. I repeat, Avraham Avinu, after receiving the Hey, which is the Malchus, we know that the Malchus is the Din, Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, Aleph from Keye, and the word Din. So we know it's the Din. And once you go into that dance of the Din, automatically you're playing with the Ayin Ra, and you're also subjected to it. And therefore, right after that, he was announced that Yadoya Teida Kiger Yezaracha Beretz Loilahem in Bris Beis Abisarim, that he's Vavadum Beinu Oisam Abba Moishana. Ephraim sold Marasa Machpeila for 400 shekel kesef. The word 400 comes back. Ephraim was written with a vav prior to the sale. As soon as the sale took place, is written without a vav in the Torah. The Zohar says why? Because he became Ayin Ra, he became a Rasha, and so forth and so forth. Eisav in Pashas Vayishlach, when he comes to see Yaakov, to see, you know what I mean? He comes with 400 men. And therefore, why? Because it's Ayin Ra, his bad eye. Eisav was so powerful that he mastered the Ayin Hara. He didn't need a soul. With his Ayin Hara, he was capable of decimating, a lot of people. That's why people hated him. They were very scared of him. So every time we have 400, we know we have a subject of Ayin. And we know Eisav is the master of it. We're going to see more than Bilam. The Kliyaka, I was just jogging in my mind if I should tell you another thing that the Reb Nubachia says there, which is tremendous. There's no point. Let's keep on with the Mahalach here. The Kliyaka goes like Reb Nubachia, and he is going to give here a little bit more clarity about the reason 400 years. So he does the parallel with different 400. He goes with Ephraim that sold Maras HaMachpelah for 400 shekel. And you can dig in all these inyanim because shekel is nefesh. Bnei Israel going to have a nefesh in Mitzrayim. I mean, you can go in here. I'm telling you, it's bottomless. Very dangerous waters. Very dangerous. But when Chazal tell us and make a parallel, trust me, there is a reason in this parallel. Avraham is promised, Yaakov is going. What's the parallel? Because Avraham, Yaakov equals shekel, equals nefesh. Midrash. Avraham was saved from Ur Kasdim only because of Yaakov. Oh, because we need Yaakov in order to go suffer in Mitzrayim and have his descendants suffer. I'm telling you, I just opened a little bit of a window here to show you that we can take it for granted, as it says in Rabbi Bachi and Kli Yakar, because here we're touching subjects that are very deep, and we're going to miss the main point of the psukim, which are for us, if we start going and kvetching in the depth in here. But as a reason, as Rabbi Bachia says, we don't know the reason of Mitzrayim, and he wanted to be medachik that it's because the Satan put an eye on Avraham Avinu because he got his hate. Kliyaka says no. He says, let me tell you why. He said, when the brothers envied Yosef because of the shirt that he had, and they sold him, they were mechuyev to pay for that through 400 years. In other words, the Kli Yakar adds on a layer here. It's not enough that you have to save yourself from the Ayin Hara, but you also cannot have it because you're going to get the punishment. A person who envies, we don't shouldn't say, the other people have Ayin Hara. Remember the Baal Shem. What HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows you people as a mirror to see what's inside you. Sometimes it's scary because once you see real bad people, Hashem is talking to you. Don't judge him, because whatever you see in him is what's inside. It's another very deep subject. There's a big Ariya Kodesh on this. The Kli Yakar said, how did Eisav acquire that midah? He said when Yaakov Avinu got the brachas, he got very envious. And because of that, it was eating him up. Really eating him up. Every word that's around Eisav is to teach us something. The name of his children, the name of his city, the name of his... it's always to remind him, the Midrash says, it's always to remind him that Yaakov told him. He cannot forgive. This is a type of person who doesn't have a let out. You touch me? His ego was so huge that there was no way for him to forgive. He had to kill. That's the side of his koyach. When a person, in other words, when a person is becoming envious, it means that he elevated himself, what we call ruach gevoiha. In the Mishnah, by the Midas of Bilam, Avraham Avinu had ruach nemucha. People, they don't know me nothing. They push me. Who am I anyway? Why should I ask for covet? So forth. But Eisav had ruach gevoiha. How did he dare do that to me? To me? With this, I'll kill him. Eisav used to go kill. And he brings the fourth one, which is Naval Carmeli. Forgot who in the Rama Mipano it brings down in Chikrodin. Naval Carmeli was the Gilgul of Cain. No, Cain. Kuf, Yud, Yisroi, Kuf, Cain, Yud, Naval. Yes, it's Naval. He had Cain, and he was very stingy, very, very rich. And David HaMelech came and with 400 men to kill him because he was very hungry. He told him, share of your Suda with us. He didn't want to. David HaMelech came with 400 men to kill him. Isabel, his wife, came out and said, please don't dirty your soul. Here is food. But he got cursed to die like a dog, you know, and whatever. I'm not going to say the story here. So again, we see 400. We see that every time there is envy, Ayin Ra plays, the word 400 comes and plays, and now it could hurt on both sides, not only on one side, because the one who gives the Ayin Hara will be punished also. Very interestingly, a lot of the time in our Pasha, when the Torah refers to Eisav, it refers to him as Eisav Achiv, his brother. Follow me here, please. Eisav Achiv equals 401. 400 plus the Kedol. The Torah is preparing us for Galus Edom, because we know that at one point we will be in the Galus Edom. We complain when the nation, the host nation, is tough on the Yidden. In other words, we see from this Pasha that Eisav is less dangerous. Because when he got close to Yaakov and he was in Pashas Vayishlach, Eisav, you know, the whole thing, Eisav Achiv, he got close to Yaakov, and if he was not for a miracle, he would have bitten him in the neck. This Chaya Ra would have killed him. On Eisav, he's more dangerous when he comes as a brother as when he comes as an enemy. And he gives you a lot of philosophy here. Yeah, we don't like antagonism. We don't. In contrary, Am Yisrael becomes Am Yisrael only when he is antagonized. Never when we're not antagonized. Chaz v'shalom, when we're not antagonized, so we have now some understanding of what Chazal tell us about this Ayin Ra, the midah of Eisav. But he has another midah, which is a lot more lethal. He's Eisav, your brother. So he has the Ayin Hara. He knows how to play the game. The one who was blessed that Ayin Hara will not affect him was Yosef, right? Ben Peres Yosef, Ben Peres Ale Ayin. The Ayin Hara has no effect on the Bnei Yosef. Why is that? The Midrash gives us an answer. Is when in Parshas Vayishlach that Yaakov Avinu separated his camps. He put his people on one hand and he put his wealth on the other hand. But Hashem, you know, that's the subject I'm going to talk. You know, you're gonna be amazed that if one is saved, if he attacks one, the other one would be saved. Oh, really? What if he attacks the people? So you're gonna have the flock and the animals, and what's the point? What's the point? Separate the people. Half the people, but it's not what Yaakov did. everything here, there's a lot of chokhmah in and a lot of soidus in everything that so we need to move slowly. By all the imahis was first, the mother came first before Eisav, then the children, except by Yosef. Why? He didn't want Eisav to lay his dirty eyes on his mother. So since he was a kid, he was 7, he raised himself on the steep toes and he tried to cover his mother. Because he protected his mother from Ayin Hara, Mida keneged Mida, he's getting protection, him and his children, le'ol me'at, from Ayin Hara. Huge. Huge. In other words, Ayin Hara is not an infinite power. It has to be like everything. You need to have a vessel in order to contain something. People make themselves a vessel to Ayin Hara when they start themselves being envious and looking too much around them. Oh, I'm going to go to the mall just to look at the stores. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not doing a chet. No, there's nothing wrong, right? You're going in the derech of Eisav. You're training your eyes to look and to envy and to find nice things, on the. Although we said this in English already. You're looking at the mall. Very good. Keep on doing this. Now you're going to go to shul, and instead of thinking, because you trained yourself, instead of thinking that you're not in the mall anymore, you're going to look at your friend and you're going to be envious of the clothes. Now you're going to create mayhem because these clothes are going to get dirty, not being clean anymore. And you're mechuyev, you're mazik. You're mazik with Ayin Hara. Oh, based in, yes, can do nothing about it. But based in Shalmaila, they can do something about it. And they will do it. Pater bedine Adam. In Dine Adam, we don't have the koyach to judge this kind of cases. The person is pater bedine Adam and chayev bedine Shammai. So it's a very interesting. So stay away, keep your eyes down, stop looking at other things. Yes, there's nothing wrong. I'm not making a chet, but yes, midas is, you always, in order to arrive to midas, it's not you doing something wrong. Is the fall from the highest cliff. In every other chet is bit by bit. Like the Gemara in Shabbos, the Satan says, do this today. Do this tomorrow, and after that you realize you're on top of a mountain of Chataim. But here it's not like this. On Midas is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Just watching and just looking. Not doing anything on this. So you start with the mole, and then who walks in the mole, and then you be part of this, and then all of a sudden you find yourself, whoa! Do I have wing? I'm off the cliff. Yes, you're off the cliff. This is the worst thing. The Midrash Tanchuma, I really want to drill on this because a person, we learned a lot in the Kavanas, we learned a lot in the things, and to open the Tzina, Rachel Imenu, Rachel, Kel Shakai, whatever. Here also we have Kel Shakai in this parasha when on the bracha of Yitzchak. What is it really meaning? Okay, let's take with everything with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, if someone goes into a mikveh in order to purify himself, as Chazal say, and he's holding an insect in his hand, Was he purified? No. I went to the mikveh. Sorry, you have sheretz biyadu. You're not purified. By the time you're trying to purify you, you're already defiled. It's not going to help. It's not going to help. If a person has rotten midas, you can start all the kavanas you want. It's not going to help. There are very clear simanim when a person has been able to work upon himself. There are very clear simanim from Shamayim they give him to tell him that your work has been accepted, and certain things open up. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't waste his time. That's one of the huge simanim. Everything he does with his time, everything is a kli for a mitzvah. But once the thing that's soil, the Zohar says, the person from top to bottom, Lashon Hara, we know that, because the Nefesh Ruach Neshama, we learned it by the Metzora. And we're going to see here, we're going to go to the Metzora very soon. Because right after it, it's Ayin Hara. A person has to learn to control his eyes. When you say control your eyes, it's not controlling your eyes from looking at something that's forbidden. It's something that may create an envy, a desire to buy it. It's just, so I'm going to the store. You don't understand. For me, this is going there is mamash the Yevanim. It's a very, in France, it's a very common thing. We call it leaking the storefront. People are in front and admire Mishigaim. You take good midas and you twist them to be the midas of Eisav. This is Eisav. This is the midah of Eisav. When Eisav is a friendly and he's the most dangerous. He's lethal. Lethal because you let him get close to you. You can't let him get close to you. The Midrash Tanchuma in Pashas Beshalach tells us that when Amalek came to fight against the Bnei Yisrael after they came out of Egypt, that day his hatred was so big that he covered 400 parsais in one day. 400 parsas, a few parsas is a few miles. It's a parsa is almost 4 kilometers. 4 kilometers in miles is about 2.5 miles. So 400, at that time, it's like coming from Virginia to Florida. He did it on one day. He didn't have cars. He didn't have anything on a horse. That's what it is. Right away, there's a big machlokes between the Tanaim. How is it possible? Because when the frontiers of Eretz Yisrael are defined, in the south it's defined Seir. So it's right there. It just has to cross the frontier there in Eretz Yisrael. So he's not 400 parsas. So why are we talking here like we have, but again, we have this word 400 coming back with Amalek. What did Amalek do? Amalek learned his grandfather made him swear not to forget. His mother made him swear not to forget the hatred to the Jews. So what's Rab Nassan tells us here in the Midrash? He tells us prior to coming, yes, he didn't have 400 kilometers or 800 whatever miles. No, actually, 400 times 2.5 is 1,200. It's like coming from New York. And maybe above New York, maybe Rhode Island. No, maybe New York. Or no, New York is 1,000, New Jersey is 1,000 something. Well, no, Rhode Island. From Rhode Island, he made 400. Elamai, he prepared himself to have a tremendous Ein Hara. And the Ein Hara by himself is Mekatrin. So you know that those who fell was only the one that were ejected from the Anane Kovid. How were they ejected from the Anane Kovid? Because when you look with Ein Hara, the Ein Hara does the job by himself. He creates a kitrug in Shamayim right away. Why is this person here in the Anane Kovid? He shouldn't be there. It's not so good to be in the Anane Kovid. So right away, the Anane Kovid have to do the deal they eject. So that's the soil. The Amalek came also, and all these nations, when they come to fight with us, they come with Ein Hara. But us, we cannot respond. We cannot respond like this. Once we understand I forgot, I was just thinking in the Hechalis, in the Zohar, those with Ein Hara, which level they go, I think it's the third level. Yeah. Once you learn what is the third level, Rashi wrote Maseches Gehinam. Kedai to learn. Once we define Eisav who he is, that question we asked at the beginning becomes a lot more pertinent here. Vayehav Yitzchak es Eisav. I don't care what he has in his mouth. I don't care how he traps in his mouth. Are you a child to fall for Tevin and Melech? No. This is the worst embodiment of the Ein Hara. There was never a one to second him on this. He was by far the biggest Ein Hara in the world. Yitzchak Avinu. You knew that the brothers sold Eisav. Didn't happen in your house. Didn't happen in anything. You have Ruach HaKodesh. You know that your children are going to be enslaved by the Bnei Eisav, and they're going to suffer tremendous xeris. You know that. Why do you love? How is it possible that you fall for... Okay, we're going to stop saying this because we know it's not the pshat, but why do you fall, or why do you love someone that's very bad? Love creates a bond, so the tumor passes on. You were on the Akedah, you were on the Mizbeach. You have so much schus that every year, till end of time, we're using your schus to get kapara on Yom Kippur. For all Am Yisrael, for all these generations. Someone wants to make me swallow that he didn't know Eisav under all the stitches? Oh, no, he knew. So what is the Torah says? Making a mistake. Before starting to answer, I'm going to come to things. I just want to point out that the only other time that this word Said is found in the Torah is by Nimrod. But by Nimrod it says, Hu haya gibor Said lifnei Hashem. He was a gibor. I don't know. Said is a noun, so I cannot translate it as a verb. Even al pi pshat, it's not a verb. If someone wants to say that al pi pshat, he's wrong. There's no pshat in here. What does it mean? He was a strong. Said is, someone wants to open the microphone, tell me the word in English. When you go hunting and you catch something, how do you call this? Is there a word for it? A catch, right? Nothing more. So he was a gibor catch. No, the catch is something else. You're the gibor. So what's gibor outside? It's a stira. These two words don't go together. It's like you put two electricity, plus and minus, and put me the two wires together. No, the electricity is not going to go around. It's going to boom. If we look at the psukim themselves, just to emphasize it, because I'm going to go into the starting answering the questions we have. Oh, here it is. Who are your gibor tzai lifnei Hashem? Al ken yamar. Therefore, it says ki nimrod gibor tzai lifnei Hashem. Really? Okay. Someone wants to give me a shot on this pasuk. This pasuk has so many soyedes, it's unbelievable. He was a gibor tzai before Hashem. Therefore, it was said that like Nimrod, a gibor tzai before Hashem. Really? You taught me a lot here. Before the brachas, Yitzchak told Eisav, "Ve'ata asanach el yecha, take your weapons, basically. Tel yecha ve'kashtecha, ve'tzeh asadeh, and go out in the field. Ve'tzu dali tzayid, and hunt me a hunt, not a hunt, but a catch, whatever." And here it says, after the brachas, when Eisav arrived, he arrived with two pigeons. He feared because he saw the Gehinnom according to the Zohar. Vayomer, he says, Mi eifod. Everybody wants to translate this. Who is it? It's not who is it. It's me who. Who is it? Eifo is where. Who is where? Doesn't mean, huh? Who hatzad? The one who went to hunt, side, the catch. So you see that side is not a verb, it's a catch. So what he means, this side that's the reason that Eisav loved someone that was so dirty to have the highest level of Ayin Har. Okay, we have a point now. We crystallize the mahus of the nature of Eisav, and we have a strong question to answer. The Rekanati HaKadosh, Menachem Rekanati, is a Rishon. I told you the story that when he wrote his Sefer, he was 85 years old. When I tell you, he davened all his life to have they open him the gates of the Bina, and he can see and he can understand and everything. He was 85 years old when they opened him the gates. He comes here from a different angle. It's very short, so we're going to be coming to the answer very, very shortly. Yitzchak Avinu gave him one bracha. Ve'al charbecha tichya. You will live on your soul. Why you will live on your soul? It fits you. It says in the pasuk when you were born, Vayetze harishon admoini. He came out red, kuloi ke'aderes, like if he was wearing a cloth. Aderes is more than a cloth. It's like what a king, the cape of a king, full of hair. And they called him Eisav because of this. But at the end of time, he says, Bayoim Ahahu. We're going to go anyway in the psukim afterwards, so now we can stay on it till the end. It says in the Navi, where is this Navi? I don't know if it's Yeshaya or it's Yeshaya. Bayoimahu, on that day, means the day of the Geula, Yegalach Adoi. Look at this. It's not Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei. It's the name of the Malchus. Will shave Besar with the blade. There's a whole Gemara about this, that explaining this pasuk. The Gemara is in Sanhedrin Tzadik Yamud Beis explaining about Sancheriv that the Shekhinah tricked him to shave to have. But when comes the end of time, the hairy guy will be shaved besar, exactly like who? Like the Metzora. We had to shave him. It's also to put a blade on the four corners, the five corners. Him is a goy. He's not a Jew. He's a goy. He spoke lashon hara. He doesn't have a nefesh ruach neshama, so you can say that he has the shemes in him, and that automatically he has the payas and everything. He doesn't have no payas. This guy's like a goy. In Sar, why HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to shave? I don't know, send fire, burn the hair. No, it has to be Besar like the mitzvah. Let's understand what happened here in the pasuk. Vayetze Harishon Admoini Kuloi Keadereseya Vaikru Shemoy Eisav. How much chokhmah there in these letters? How many psukim are written with the ash, ayin shin, without the thing? You see the shin ayin inverted. Those who learn on Shabbos. Come on, guys. You see already what we see. Besides what I said about the ayin hara, you're capable of getting a lot deeper than that. Let's start with this. So we have here Seyar, which equals 580, which is the same letters as Sair, Ravishil La'azazel. It's the same letters as Asher. And its value, the true, is the Sam and the Lily. There we have the happy couple. The cursed snakes. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Equals tefillin. Seyar, the Ari HaKadosh tells us, is where all the chitzonim, when they're attached to a person, is through the hair. That's why the Ari HaKadosh had a kavana when he used to take a haircut, that he was removing the chitzonim. So when a person is wearing the tefillin, so the tefillin are removing the head of the clippers from that person. Because yesterday he was not perfect, and today he has done a few things. So every day we need to wear tefillin in order to remove the attachment of the chitzonim to the Bnei Israel. So we understand here that Eisav was the embodiment of the sun and the lilies. Now you're going to see in the Zohar, yeah, there was a Nachash inside him. Here it is. He was born already. He was a Rasha from the beginning. And when his father saw, he knew. So now he had Ke Adereseya. What is this? A cape of hair. But Aderes means beautiful. Let's see what he had from the beginning, his Midas. This equals to 1,185. Equals to in full. Then he went to marry Machlas Bas Ishmael, so it's Machlas. We call her the Lili Shenis, the second one, because she's the mother of all the Shadim, and they compose Sitra Achra. Here's our dear friend, exactly how it comes number for number. Here's our Eisav, how he marries this thing, Machlas Bas Ishmael, and the Sitra Achra. By the way, it's not Machlas, it's Machla. Sorry. I think so. I will think that way, yeah. So now we know we have on the seir, on the hair, we have the attachment of the chitzonim, and that's why when the Yosef was beautifying his hair, they thought that he already was caught by the chitzonim, the brothers. That's how they made a mistake, and he was calling upon himself a test. That's all. So we have Eisav completely submerged by the tumor. And at that point, the Torah says, by Yoimahu, on that day, on the last day, we're gonna remove it with Sar. Okay, it's the pasuk right below. By Yoimahu Yegala Chadrin Besar. Okay. Sar equals 670 plus the cradle equals 671. Now, when we say Eleshem Yichud before a mitzvah, we're creating a connection with the kavana, to the kavana. So we're doing the mitzvah. But on every mitzvah, in Siman Samech, in Arachaim, Siman Samech, automatically we create a yichud, like amen. But why? It requires a little bit of kavana. So you take now tefillin plus the yichud, yud ke vav ke, aleph dalet nun yud. It's the sar. That's how you shave off. So now, what I told you before, it's proven that the tefillin removes the chitzonim. I still can't understand why it doesn't say Yud Ke Vav Ke, it says Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, the Malchus. Yes, it's the Malchus that removed it. Can you believe the word Sar in the Pasuk is written right next to the word Aleph Dalet Nun Yud? Because you have the Sama Maves, you have the poison, but you also have the remedy. You have the cure. You have the and every time, there's a few times in davening when we have the Aleph Dalet Nun Yud in full and everything. So every time the kavana is to shave off the chitzonim, that because our actions are not being perfect, and we have upon us and that's how we remove it. Now we understand that a person okay, I haven't been perfect. I've been going in the malls until this rabbi said on the shir, and he affected me, and I want to change. And the person says, okay, now I'm going to wear my tefillin with, yes, those tefillin are going to remove. I'm going to change the midas of that person. The midas. The midas is a work. No, when you do a ma'aseh mitzvah, and you do the ma'aseh mitzvah with kavana, this ma'aseh mitzvah, remember it's a avodah, it's a work. And you have made an action to put it on you. This action changes the person who you are. So I'm going to skip a little bit just to go into the answers because I really want to answer. I think it's really fundamental here. It's a pity I won't be able to go to the second Admoni, which is David HaMelech, and the parallel that the Midrash and the Zohar makes between the two of them. That really Eisav was not supposed to be born. It was David, the Admoni David was supposed to be born. So we have Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, David, altogether equals 642 equals Merkava Shleim. The full Merkava would have been completed at that time, but it's not, I'm not going to make it, but too bad. Still going to explain something extremely fundamental here. The bracha of Eisav I'm going to waste time searching. It's ve'al charbecha that the Rekanati said tichya. 760, very magical number. Always when I see 760, it's ve'al charbecha tichya. That's what you have. No more, no less. I'm sorry. I don't know why I put the boils, but it's a habit now. When I write a pasuk, I like to put the boils. Okay. 760 twice Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim, Mitzarim. Boundaries. A person is being punished not because we take everything as a level of punishment. It's not punishment. We have broken boundaries. They reteach us this is the boundary where it is. The person understands, goes back within the boundaries by himself. He's not going to feel the onus. But if he stays on the boundary, what did I do? I just went to the mall looking at the storefronts and so forth. Yes, you broke the boundaries. Eisav will attack you. Twice mitzvah. But if you are on the Ananei HaKavod, which are the Kanfei Nesharim, you rule Eisav. When Bnei Yisrael were ready to do Korban Pesach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took them on Kanfei Nesharim, brought them to Har Moriah. Because it's also to do Korban Pesach if it's not at the place of the Beis HaMikdash. So, and nowhere in the Torah it says that one Korban Pesach was done there. Look at the Targum Yonasan says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu flew them that night and flew them back to Mitzrayim. Kanfei Nesharim, when a person is elevated, I don't want to say what I'm going to say, but I have to tell you the vote of the Ari HaKadosh. I'm going to finish on this actually. I'm just going to finish on Kanfei Nesharim. When a person is on Kanfei Nesharim, the koyach of Eisav cannot affect. In other words, there is a place where Ayin Hara has no effect. We had, so just to go back on this and could give you two answers on the reason. I'm going to give you two answers. Because of this, and this is the answer of the Galia Raza. This is the Galia Raza. Yes, it's the Galia Raza. When Yitzchak saw the wickedness of Eisav, he was very happy. Why? He recognized his wickedness because his mouth was not straight. There was no one straight word coming out of his mouth, so he knew right away who he was dealing with. And he was very happy that the Bnei Yisrael, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will use him as a stick to straighten up the Bnei Yisrael. That they should not go to Gehinnom. Instead, they should suffer from Eisav. That's the way. The Ari HaKadosh says something else. But I'm going to prove you with one thing, the two pshat. The Ari HaKadosh says that the neshamas of Shemaya, Naftalia, and all the big yearn that were tremendous in Am Yisrael, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Akiva, who was a Ben Gerin, were in the mouth of Eisav. When Yosef had the episode with the wife of Potiphar and he envied her, his zera came out through the fingers. And these are the neshamas that fell. And these neshamas fell in the tumor. So at this point, when the Ari HaKadosh says in the Torah in Ovadia that he was hearing the neshama of Rabbi Akiva, because Akiva is the same letters as Yaakov with the Aleph, to teach us that he died by Echad. Look at tremendous Torah. That's how acute was Yitzchak. He could recognize that. And now you see, Kitzayid Befiv, because he had already the catch in his mouth. It fits in the words. Kitzayid Befiv equals 232. Should I say anything else? Look at the light he had in his mouth. When the Ari HaKadosh tells you that he had the neshamis, the rabbis of Hillel HaZaken, Shmaya and Naftalion, tzaddikim that cannot describe, Rabbi Meir, all the Torah Shebe'al Peh, all the big masters of the Torah Shebe'al Peh were there. That's the Oyer of the Chacham. That's the Ralab. That's Absagma Ben. Yitzchak Avinu was saying this. That's why he wanted to keep a connection with Eisav. Because he wanted to keep him close, so to know what to do with these neshamas. For sure he knew who was Eisav. For sure Rivka told him. For sure he knew what Shem ever said. And that's why, and I'm finishing on this, that's why Yaakov Avinu offered him to buy the Bechorah. Because the Bechor was the one working in the Beis Hamikdash, had a special Kedusha. So that's why, as having the Bechorah, these neshamas went to him. But if Yaakov was taking the Bechorah away from him, he would take the neshamas also away. And It says, Vayivez Eisav es habechora. Vayivez from Lashon Bizoyen. He says, please take them away from me, because they're preventing me every time I want to do a chet. They're standing by me, and if I did the chet, I'm having remorse. I can't anymore live with those guys. I want to do what I want to do. In that case, it's not what we say in Chesed Mishpat. Chesed Mishpat is something you want, and you were coerced to sell it. But something you despise, and you don't want it, the sell is fine. That's the story that happened here, behind the scene on level 1. B'ez Hashem, beyond Shabbos, we'll be able to see now but level 2 and level 3. Level 4, you're ready for yourself. Have a good Shabbos to the others. And we know that we're going back on schedule this Shabbos with our sharing. Call to everyone. Have a good night.
Gorgeous shoe.
Thank you.
Everything.
All right. Good night, everyone. Call to.